Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe SI Talk. Ich bin natürlich noch immer in Vancouver, Sie sehen es an der Location, bin noch immer auf der Re-Rack und nächster Interviewpartner ist von Silber47, da habe ich schon mal einen Conflict of Interest, ich bin dort der Aktionär und wir haben auch schon, we do an interview in the past.
Yeah, been a while. I think, maybe, I don't know.
6 months, is it
Yeah.
possible?
Or longer, I think.
Or longer?
I think so.
I get the first introduction to the story was Metals Forum last year in March, Toronto.
Toronto, that's right.
So and
Almost coming up to a year.
ja. Okay, so, es ist schon eine Zeit lang aus, wo ich jetzt die Dinge ist. Ich bin dort der Aktionär und die Company ist auch in diesem Jahr public gegangen. Der Gary wird uns jetzt ein Update geben, was er so in dem Jahr gemacht hat. Gary, thank you for your time. I think the most important update from the last year it was that you make the listing.
Yes. Yeah, we got listed.
Yeah, before it was private, now you're listed. And it looks like for me also that is a perfect timing. Silber47, or in German, 47, means also for me that is a perfect timing from the silver price. When you go public, it was really a nice run. It's a little bit recovered since then, but first, before we come to the project, is what is your personal expectation about silver?
Silver? Oh, I think silver's going to rip. I've been doing a lot of work on all the uses for silver. I'm blown away by the amount of uses for silver, and they continue to advance new technology that playing around with silver, nanoscale stuff. So just the amount of uses, and what I'm learning is that it's increasingly, not only is there more appetite for physical silver, but the industrial uses for silver are growing quite rapidly. So I like a lot more, and plus there's technologies that didn't exist. We never really talked about AI 10 years ago. So there's a lot of things that are coming in and that are using silver that weren't really a part of the equation, say, 10 years ago. So I'm slowly migrating to the triple-digit silver camp. I know that's a stretch, but if you look at, I see $50 silver not too far off from here. And I think this time it's going to be a sustained $50 silver, not a spike up and down like we've seen in the past. So we got to get to 40 first. You know, we're sitting at 30 now. We got to get to 40 first, and then we'll see 50, and it'll get there.
I think we have really a big hurdle with 33, 34. That was big hurdle. But the other point is, gold makes multi all-time highs in the last 18 months, and silver not.
Yeah,
we are still 40%. Under the top of the silver price.
I know. Well, let's face it, it's a lot of paper. It's a lot of shorts hitting the market.
Yeah,
but at some point they can't hold it.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the point. You say the industry uses going up dramatically.
Yeah.
So an industry need physical material, not paper. You
Correct.
cannot make this product with paper silver.
Well, that's it. And then, I want to go buy 100 million ounces of silver. Well, good luck. Where are you going to... And then we're already running a 4-year, 200+ million ounce deficit. You can't keep that up, and that's going to grow? Well, okay, they're clearing out the vaults. They're clearing out the physical, and where's it going? It's going to India, it's going to Russia, and it's going to China.
Mm-hmm.
So back up the truck, because there's not going to be much silver available when it starts to get tighter, and those margins, the premiums to acquire these things are going to continue to go up. So I still believe that there's a silver squeeze in place, and we're just fighting the paper market. That's really what it is. At some point, it's going to bust through, and it's just a matter of when. You don't know when it's going to happen, but I think it's an exciting time to be in the exploration silver space for a change.
Yeah, and this is, I think, a good point or a good start to coming now to the company. So how you want to get advantage of this situation?
Well, to acquire good exploration assets that have a lot of silver potential, where you can still get them relatively cheap. So I think now we're still able to acquire solid resources and assets with big silver development potential for relatively cheap. So if you look at the Red Mountain project that Silver 47 has 100% of, we paid $400,000 and 10 million shares for 100% of this asset that now has 170 million silver equivalent ounces at 336 grams per ton. So got the grade, we have the scale, and we've got the location, the jurisdiction in Alaska. So I think we're well positioned. We just want to grow this resource to a point where we can wrap a PEA around it and start moving that into a development scenario sooner than later.
Okay, but this is not the only project what you have.
Yeah, we have also, and what's interesting is all three assets that Silver 47 has are quite similar in nature. They're sediment to volcanic hosted VMS/SEDEX type deposits. This is a unique type of largely base metal, been known for base metal deposits, but some of these VMS deposits can be quite rich in precious metals. And a good example is Eskay Creek. Everybody knows about that one, very high grade silver and gold. Now under Skeena, the second mine now they're going to build after that high grade mine was mined and reclaimed, and now they're going back in there, and I think they're up to 7 or 8 million ounces now. Gold equivalent. So they can be quite rich in precious metals, and that's why we're interested in them. And I think a lot of people in the business probably know that 70% of the world's silver comes from really a polymetallic mines, where silver is one of the mined elements that, whether it's a gold mine, gold, silver, copper mine, copper, gold, silver, moly, and or just a gold, silver mine, and lead, zinc, silver, lead, zinc, silver. So we're in that sort of lead, zinc, silver plus gold, copper realm. So the other project we have is called Adams Plateau in British Columbia, and we assembled this, I guess, since about 22, 23. It's an earlier stage project, but it's also quite a large scale project. So we don't have a budget for it this year, just because we really want to put our attention to Red Mountain. And then when the company got started, we picked up an asset. Our first asset we had was in the Yukon. It's called Michelle, and it was a well-established prospect from the 70s, 23 showings on it. Again, more lead, zinc, silver. And we got in there in 21-22 and drilled an amazing silver discovery, 15 meters of 900 grams silver, plus 30% lead, zinc. And within that was almost 8 meters of 1,500 grams silver and almost 50% lead, zinc. So remarkable discovery on our first 10 holes ever, out of the gate on a brand new showing, never been drilled. Unfortunately, that one has been stuck in our Class 3 permitting process, so that's kind of deferred and delayed, and no budget for that. So we're kind of waiting on the outcome of a judicial review for permitting on that. So good value in those assets to come, I think. But meanwhile, we've got a well-established resource in Red Mountain in Alaska. So we're well advanced on that project to move it into a PEA is the goal. So get enough drilling on the goal for us is to get enough drilling in the next 2 years on the Red Mountain to get enough material that would justify a 10-year mine life in that sort of 5,000 to 10,000 ton a day kind of scenario.
Okay, but this means also this year is plans drilling
for the next 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what your plans are for, what is really the actual plan, how many meters you will want to drill?
Yeah, well, I'd like to get in that sort of 5,000 to 10,000 meters this season. So right now it's sort of May to October season. But one of the interesting things about the project is we have two zones. One is called the West Tundra Flats. That's important because it's really a tundra flat. And the other one is called Dry Creek, which is kind of getting into the mountains part. But I think there's an opportunity to drill all through the year, at least on the West Tundra Flats, because it's literally a flat. Once a winter sets in there, then you can just skid the drill around quite easily, less disturbance on the ground. So we're looking at that potentially for 26, maybe even 27. We'll see how it goes, but that's sort of down the road a little bit, because we're now just going into our second season on the project. We just drilled a handful of holes in 2024 just to test some of the theories that we have and ideas on why we're interested in this project, is because of the enrichment in silver and gold. There's lots of zinc, there's copper, there's lead, and antimony, which is a critical mineral that China banned as well. So we do have antimony, although we haven't done the metallurgical work yet on that. And a lot of the historical assays did not do the analysis for antimony. So we want to look at that and see what kind of recoveries we might be able to get and add that to our mix of critical minerals.
Yeah. It's interesting, nobody think about antimony since December last year. So it's coming then up with the export ban and everybody realize, oops, we need this material for our production, for our mobile phones and so on.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how the switch is going. And I saw this also on the metal forum. You see now really some companies, they say, hey, we have antimony showing, but we never tested in the past.
Yeah, it's that's true. Yeah, we never really. I mean, those are kind of niche mineralite sort of minerals.
Yeah.
And a lot of those minerals as well come as byproducts from from mines. And what's interesting is that normally, if you got a lead, zinc, silver mine, you send that concentrate to a refiner. They buy it from you. They don't tell you about the other minerals necessarily, or you're not getting credit for it, or you might get even penalized because you've got some not so good minerals in there that cost more to process. But I think what everybody's learning quickly is that there's a lot of value in these other minerals like gallium and antimony and germanium. There's real value in those minerals, and I think we're now starting to say, hey, wait a minute, I want some credit for that now when I give you my concentrate.
And this is the good thing is when you get a lot of credits for the other materials, and brings then the cost down for your premium
ultimately.
materials.
Yeah.
For your silver or your silver ounces or whatever.
Well, it gives you a higher margin, right? Yeah, I mean, the polymetallics are great that way because maybe silver goes down for a few years when you're mining, but then lead, zinc, or some of these critical minerals could be really high, so it offsets your volatility in commodity prices if you have these polymetallic mines. So they're quite promising.
I think a lot of viewers don't know that's not normal is that you have here a gold mine, this is pure gold, or you have a copper mine, this is pure copper. You have always credits from other materials too. This is Mother Nature. Generally
so. It's pretty rare that you have just one element, one commodity that you're mining. There's almost always some other. They just tend to form in similar ways. Mother Nature, just that's the way the formation happens. In some cases, you get a lot of critical minerals, like this Michelle project I mentioned in the Yukon. We have really high-grade gallium. We've got really high-grade antimony. We got the good stuff, the silver, lead, zinc. There's some copper. There's a bit of moly in there. There's some nickel in there. Like the list of some of these projects. There's a list of critical minerals that we could tap. The project I mentioned in British Columbia called Adams Plateau. While we're there for the lead, zinc, silver, and gold and copper. There's also, it's an interesting area that has a lot of graphite. Okay. And we looked at some of the old drilling that was done there, and they hit a pretty broad zone of graphite. I'm like, well, that's a whole nother ball of wax. Is the graphite is also a critical mineral that has been banned by China. Yeah. So we probably need to maybe do a bit more assessment on the graphite there. Absolutely. While we're there.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is really before it was maybe too focused on one material or two materials and not looking at the other ones, or not analyzing on the core. But interesting. So, but coming back to the company, for which news can an investor expect this year, or should wait? What is a premium key driver maybe?
Well, it's really going to be the drilling. I mean, one of the things that we learned from the 2024 drilling was that we got really good core recovery. So core recovery is how much core you get in the box when you're drilling. And some of the 1980s drilling, they were getting something like, 30-40% of the stuff they drilled were in the box. So you don't know what you don't have. You couldn't analyze it because you didn't get rock in the box. Whereas what we found this year is we got really good recovery. Not only did we improve the grades, we improved the thickness of the zone because we got more rock in the box that was drilled. So we're encouraged by that because that's going to help potentially increase the grade and the size of the resource. So it's going to be about drilling for us. We know that the zones are open for expansion, so it's going to be about expansion drilling this year, and so we won't get in there to drill probably till May, June-ish, depending on how that goes. But yeah, I would say watch for some exciting drill results to come from this project. And what's interesting is that, it was originally, when we got it from an Australian company, so not a lot of people are aware of the asset. So I think we've got some work to do to tell the story about Silver 47 and the Red Mountain asset and the opportunity here. So yeah, it's just getting out there and getting drilling, and what we'd like to do is to show that we have year-over-year resource growth. That's our objective here, is to get enough drilling that we can show this growth. Again, sort of double that from 15.6 million tons. If we can get it to 30 million tons and continue to show that growth, that's the objective for us.
Okay. Quick update on the shareholder structure.
Yeah, so shareholders we have 50 million shares outstanding on a basic basis. 20% is held by management, and then you've got about 10-11% each held by Crescat Capital and Eric Sprott. So 3 holders effectively holding 40% of the company. And then we've also got some well-established investors in Germany and as well as in Belgium and Netherlands. So fair amount of European investors already in, and then fairly broad retail after that.
Okay. Good. Thank you for the update. Good luck with the drilling. We are really in an exciting time. Today it's where President Trump is come to power. Maybe he breaks up a trade war. We don't know it, but I think when the trade war come, maybe that's good for sure good for precious metals, but also for these special materials like antimony, what we say before.
Sure.
Then the most people then coming into the focus, and then maybe we are living really in very interesting times. Not only good times, challenging times, but very interesting times, I must say.
Definitely interesting.
Definitely interesting. The outcome is, we will see, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, there's lots of things I think President Trump would like to do. Be interesting to see what he can do as far as cutting that red tape and bureaucracy to get these mines built and developed.
Yeah, and there's always a big difference between what you talk and what you're doing. So
yes, sure, yeah.
We will see.
And we'll see on the price, so too. Like we like to talk about how it's going up. Let's hope it.
Maybe it's go quicker than we.
Maybe it goes quicker than we think. Yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for a positive surprise, I must say.
Yes, I think we're due. We've been long in the tooth, and I think a lot of people are getting a little tired of hearing it's going to go up, but not seeing it go up where it should be.
But on the other hand, especially when you look at gold price or also the silver price, the performance last year was not bad.
It was actually not bad at all.
Then when you look at then on the stocks, you say, hey, we must be in a big depression. But when you look at the performance of the commodity, it's not bad.
Actually not bad, and some equities have actually done quite well. Because I remember when we chatted at PDAC, last PDAC, it was pretty quiet and a bit somber on the silver market. But then we had that run in April, which all of a sudden everybody got excited again, and we started almost, by from sort of April till what was it, October, we had $40 silver in sight there. Yeah. So there's a pretty short window of a nice rally. Absolutely. So let's hope 25 brings a even better one. That's all we can do is hope and watch and keep working away at it.
Absolutely. Thank you for the update.
Thank you very much.
Ja, das war ein Update an Silber 47. Ihr habt es gehört, 3 Projekte. Eins ist in Alaska, wo sie sich darauf konzentrieren. Und wir haben sehr viel jetzt auch um diese anderen Commodities auch gesprochen. Es ist nicht so, dass ja diese Projekte die haben meistens zwar ein primäres Erz oder ein primäres Metall vorherrschend, aber es ist immer eine Kombination aus vielen. Und wir haben sehr viel jetzt über Antimon geredet, wo sie auch sehr viele teilweise an Showings haben, also wo sie sehen, dass im Erz das drin ist, aber früher nie analysiert worden ist. Ob das jetzt Germanium ist, Gallium oder auch Antimon, das sie teilweise in ihre Projekte haben. So, aber das Wichtigste ist, heuer wird gebohrt. Nächstes Jahr wird auch gebohrt. Sie wollen die Ressource erweitern, jedes Jahr. Und bis zu einem Punkt, wo sie sagen, sie machen eine PEA drauf und dann wird es dementsprechend ja, dann wird es hoffentlich wahrscheinlich monetarisiert dazu. Und ja, das ist die Idee dahinter. Und wie gesagt, der Name sagt schon mal, es ist natürlich gut, wenn der Silberpreis steigt. Und wir haben viel über den Markt gesprochen. Wir wissen nicht, was der Herr Präsident Trump alles macht. Vielleicht ist auch nur viel geredet und er macht es wenig. Wir werden es sehen. Aber es könnte ein Treiber sein für gerade die Rohstoffmärkte. In welcher Art und Weise, schauen wir mal. Aber an sich, die Commodities an sich selber sind eigentlich gut gelaufen und die Performance der Stocks war allerdings eher ein Desaster. So, das war's von Silber 47 am 20. Jänner 2025 aus Vancouver. Tschüss und Baba, pfiat euch. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Appreciate that.